It's R93 Boxing. I'm back with a quick video. This is gonna be my post-fight thought to Tony Bellew versus David Haye. I was watching the fight and I thought David Haye started off very sluggish and just reckless almost. He wasn't really trying to use the jab, and he looked a bit like Tony Bellew was there to win, and David Haye was just there fighting with his emotions, trying to look for the big punch without setting up anything with his jab. Tony Bellew was there to win. He looked sharp. He came to train. Forget about how soft he looked compared to David Haye. He came. He came to fight, and he trained. He prepared for it. He was sharper than I usually see him. He was pretty fast, and he was doing good counters. I was like, shit, David Haye, if he doesn't use the jab, he will not win the fight. And round 2, he starts using the jab. He started landing a few more shots. I still have Tony Bellew winning that round. I feel. I didn't really score it like that. Like I didn't go and watch the fight because, for obvious reasons, it stopped at round 11. And round 3, 4 gone, he was getting closer and closer. David Haye was getting a bit closer. He was still getting hit. He was still a bit reckless. And but I felt like if it kept going, he would have been out. Like Tony Bellew would have been like stopped, because David Haye was getting closer. But see, he had an injury and I think his ankles, and his balance was so fucked. And to a certain extent, in a way, I feel bad for him, but in a way, I don't. Because first of all, anyone can have injuries. To say that, oh, you have to you can't make excuses. No, anyone can have injuries, my friend. Anyone can have injuries. No one's an exception. Look, the reason why I don't feel bad in a way is because he was so arrogant about it. He was so kind of dismissive about Tony Bellew. He was like, yeah, I'll knock him out, this and that. This is like easy fight, blah, blah, blah. You don't underestimate your opponent, right? And, look what happened. It turned around and shit happened, right? But anyway, I kind of feel bad for him because I feel like he had an injury before, by his toe injury. And a lot of fighters have injuries when they go into fights. But a toe injury, believe it or not, like when I hurt my toe once doing some weightlifting, and I used to spar casually with my friends. And there was a guy I know who's an amateur boxer. Just sparred him for fun a little bit. But when you move around and you have a hurt toe, trust me, it affects you. But either way, because people have that thing about him. People ask him, hey, how's your toe for the joke. But now he just injured his ankle. It's in front of people. He couldn't pull out, because people are gonna think about it. If he pulled out right there, which he should have, people would have booed him. And David Haye couldn't move around. He did pretty well, given that he had a bad toe. Sorry, no, not bad toe. Bad ankle or whatever he had, man. He did pretty well, but he was landing some shots. It wasn't to full effect in terms of power. But I was impressed with David Haye, given that what he done with this thing. And then later, what happened was Tony Bellew knocked him out, pretty much out of the ring. It wasn't like he kind of lost balance and kind of fell in between the ropes, and he lost balance because of his left leg. That's why he got the injury on the left ankle. And I think Tony Bellew's punches didn't really have a big impact on David Haye like that. He was outboxing him in many ways, and he was looking sharp, but he didn't have too much of an impact. It's just that his legs were gone. Now, a lot of people are going to give him credit, and I like to give him credit. I like to say Tony Bellew won and give him that credit, but I don't like to say that David Haye lost, because it's a bit like Miguel Cotto versus Sergio Martinez. Some people predicted Cotto to beat Canelo because, he beat Martinez. Martinez would have easily beat Canelo. They know that Martinez had a knee injury. And so when Cotto won, I didn't give him too much credit. I didn't try to discredit him, but let's be real. He beat a guy who was disabled. It's the same shit here. That's why some people say, Cotto will destroy Canelo because of that. But then they were extremely surprised when Canelo beats Cotto. You have to take all that into consideration. Look, imagine you were trying to box and you had the injury. How would that affect you? Would you be able to move around? Would you be no excuses? Well, just because you don't have to do it in the ring, doesn't mean you could does it mean that you could just shit on these people? I don't know, man. But at the same time, David Haye kind of deserved it. The amount of shit he was talking, and he said he's gonna be he's injury free. he's gonna be like he's reinvented himself, David Haye 2.0. But you know, he didn't make an excuse, make a fuss. If he did make a fuss, obviously people would be like boo and all this shit. But people were already booing him, which was quite sad. I would like to see a rematch, but I don't know, man. Maybe Haye will get an injury again. Thing about knee injuries, I heard, is you get once and it's very hard to get rid of it. Knee injuries kind of like once you get like a knee injury, like not knee, sorry, that's the ankle. I don't know about ankle injuries, but see, like you get leg injuries like that, it kind of never goes away, and it kind of affects your boxing career throughout. You like look at Sergio Martinez. He thought his leg was fine and back, but it wasn't. So yeah, I feel like David Haye, he might consider retirement, or he might give it another shot. Credit to both men, man. They both showed heart. They both showed skills. I mean, David Haye, he looked sluggish at first, but the way he fought, he didn't really win, and he couldn't have won with his one leg. But the way he fought, given that he had like fucked up ankle, he was landing some hard shots. Because it's very hard to land a hard shot when you like one leg's kind of fucked up. It's very hard to do that, right? So yeah, and you know, I want to see David Haye. You know, David Haye, if he fought Anthony Joshua like that, I know he wouldn't fight Anthony Joshua like that as he fought Tony Bellew. You know, in round one, just coming and trying to swing, he would get knocked out. I did say David Haye might beat Anthony Joshua, but see, David Haye again, like he's older and shit. I don't know why he bought into David Haye 2.0, rejuvenated and shit. I guess I saw Floyd Mayweather, and you know the way he fought Guerrero, the way he fought some of his fights where he was like in his 30s to 35s, he looked a bit less sharper than he did at the Canelo fight. Like against, I mean, Guerrero was right before the Canelo fight, I know, but still, like if you think about it, in the Guerrero fight he looked sharp, but he didn't look as sharp as he did against the Canelo fight. So I thought to myself, oh, maybe when Floyd Mayweather said, oh, in the Guerrero fight, I just came off the prison. All I was doing is a bunch of push-ups and stuff, and I got really big, and it kind of slowed me down. But in the Canelo fight, I remember he said something like that, and next thing you know, I became a believer. And I thought it'd be something similar of that. But you know, David Haye, he's not as sharp as he was before. He's still sharp, but you know, he needs to be careful with a knee injury. I don't know what most knee injuries. It depends on ankle injuries. I keep saying knee injuries, but most injuries are like due to. Actually, a lot of injuries due to muscle imbalances, which he talked about muscle imbalances. You know, you have to make everything around it strong. I remember when he said that in the interviews. That's how you treat the injury. So I'm assuming he treated everything well, but I guess he didn't treat the ankle injury well. I forgot what muscles you train for the ankle. Like maybe you do, I don't know, man. Maybe you do squats and shit on fucking, you know, those Bosu balls. I think that's what they call them. You probably do squats on top of the. You see those Pilates? No, not Pilates. Some weird people I see like doing. I'm not weird. I'm not trying to discredit them, but it looks funny as fuck when they do these. They try to do squats on those. You know, they're like in the gym. They're like half balls, and they try to do squats with one leg and shit. And sometimes they do with two legs, and sometimes they try to do it with a ball while the other guy's holding. It looks funny as fuck. But yeah. Let me know what you think. Actually, no. There was one video I saw. It was like Tony Bellew versus David Haye full fight, and this guy edited out the part where David Haye just got his injury. It's unbelievable, man. Some people they're like, "Oh, David Haye's a pussy," this and that. Like, David Haye's a pussy. Like, what the fuck would you do if you were there? Pull out. And you know, the thing is, like, it kind of shows that people don't care about no excuses, regardless if the excuse is legit. A person can have a legit excuse. Think about this. These people that probably go, if they have a job, they probably go to work. If the boss says, why are you 5 minutes late? They might have a good excuse. But see, their boss doesn't have it. For most part, I guarantee you. And, you know, they probably think, you know, deep down it's unfair, but they keep going on with it. But the next thing you know, they're the same way with other people. People can have off days. People can have injuries. You know, what would you do if you had an injury? How would you fight? You know, would you fight differently than you fight if you didn't have an injury? Of course you would, and you know that. But you know, you don't want no excuse. You just want to see him lose. And you know, that video was an example of what a lot of people want to see. People were booing David Haye when David Haye didn't even right after the thing when David Haye didn't even say any excuses for it. He says, "I did my best. It wasn't good enough. He was the better man. Definitely. He didn't make any excuses whatsoever." And people were booing. Like, come on, man. People were booing him for what? But let me know what you think. I'm SR93 Boxing. I'm out.